You know the shot. A hero steps into frame, draws a long blade, and the music tells you exactly what courage is supposed to look like. Polished steel. One dramatic swing. History turned into a poster. But real battlefields were never built around what looks good in close-up. They were built around one cold question. How do I hurt you before you get close enough to hurt me? Hollywood answers with a sword. History often answered with a ring of sharpened steel, and then quietly forgot it. Meet the Chakram. Not a jeweled hilt, not a giant axe. A flat steel circle, sharpened along the outer edge, open in the center. Easy to underestimate, easy to laugh at. And in trained hands, brutally efficient. Here's the uncomfortable part. On a real pre-modern battlefield, a sword is rarely the smartest thing to reach for first. A sword only becomes useful after several dangerous things have already gone right for you. You still have to close the distance. You still need room to swing. You still need the stamina to keep swinging. And then survive the reply. A sword gives you one narrow envelope. Close, and stay close, and keep surviving there. The Chakram works before that envelope even opens. Forget the clean cinematic duel. Real combat was crowded, loud, and filthy. Men slipped. Horses panicked. Dust blinded. Shields hid the body. Helmets turned clean kills into glancing scrapes. Nobody fought in a polite circle. They fought inside a moving traffic jam of fear. In that chaos, the most valuable weapon often wasn't the one that won a duel. It was the one that created hesitation at the exact second an enemy needed confidence. A ring of steel arriving fast and flat. At a face, a neck, a hand gripping a spear, didn't need to split a man in half. It needed to make him flinch, drop his guard, or bleed. On a battlefield, a 1-second stop can be everything. Enough for your line to hit his. Enough for a horse to stumble. Enough for fear to spread. The Chakram isn't magic. It's applied physics. Because most of its mass sits along the outer rim, a well-thrown ring spins with real gyroscopic stability. Spin keeps the edge aligned instead of tumbling uselessly like a dropped plate. A thin, sharp rim moving fast converts that spin into a slicing wound the moment it meets exposed tissue. No crushing mace impact required. Just the right edge meeting the wrong part of a body. And bodies are full of gaps armor never fully covers. The face, the neck, the hands, the inside of the forearm, the back of the knee. Even armored soldiers lived in a geography of openings. Lightly equipped messengers and attendants were more exposed still. There are two reasons we forgot it, neither romantic. First, cost and culture. Swords survived as status symbols long after they stopped deciding wars, while the Chakram stayed tied to specific martial cultures. Second, gunpowder. Firearms didn't care how elegantly your ring spun, and they erased the battlefield niche of nearly every specialist thrown weapon at once. That's the quiet joke history plays on us. The weapons that adapt best to cinema aren't always the ones that mattered most to survival. A sword leaves a silhouette. A Chakram leaves a question. How did something so small command so much respect? The answer is that humans under pressure become ruthless designers. They don't invent around glory. They invent around constraints, cold hands, limited steel, fast horses, exposed flesh, fear before impact. Somebody looked at all of that and realized a spinning ring could do a sword's work before the sword was ever drawn. So next time a film tells you the sword is the final word in ancient lethality, remember what the camera cuts out. The smartest fighter was usually the one who refused to wait for the duel. The most dangerous weapon was often the one that attacked timing, nerves, and distance, not the one that looked best in slow motion. Which leaves one question worth sitting with. If your life depended on surviving a single real battlefield, would you reach for the beautiful weapon that makes you look like a hero? Or the awkward little ring that keeps you alive long enough to not need heroics at all?